you, thank you. You know, that was the first time I spoke in public after my stroke. I was scared. So I decided just to say 2 words, thank you. And I rehearsed, thank you, thank you. But when I entered the stage and I saw 2,000 people standing up and applauding, I knew I had to say more. And I did. You see, when you have a stroke, you must speak slowly to be understood. And I've discovered that when I speak slowly, people listen. They think I'm going to say something important. Well, we'll see what I have to say, because I want to introduce my speech therapist who works with me once a week, and I've had my stroke 10 years ago. My speech therapist is Betty McMicken. Okay.
You did a great job.
Well, wait. You like to sit there?
Would you like to sit at my table?
Yes. Oh,
Have a seat.
thank you.
We have beautiful roses.
They're wilted.
Oh, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. I struggled with these roses.
But thank you.
You're very well. You're very well. You're very
Thank you. That's a word.
You say that word very well.
Yes.
Very well. Well, I'd like to first of all welcome you to this wonderful campus, California State University, Long Beach.
Steven Spielberg went here.
Yes, he did. He graduated from here, and we're very proud of that. And we're very proud to have you with us today. You were making a film, as I understand, or beginning to make a film with Michael when you experienced your stroke?
Yes, before it happened, I was working with my son Michael on a movie. Then it happened, and he said, look, listen, Dad, just keep working with your speech therapist, and then we'll make the movie. No, that got me mad. I said, Michael, why don't you work with my speech therapist? And when you talk like I talk, we do the movie.
And did you?
Well, we did. We never did the movie. He did it alone, but you know, he had trouble with the ratings. You know, to me, ratings are very simple. G, the good guy gets the girl. R, the bad guy gets the girl. And X, everybody gets the girl.
So true. So true. Both of your books are used by my students, My Stroke of Luck and Let's Face It. We use them.
Did they pay for it?
Everybody pay for it, I hope. Yes. We're not buying used books? No. Okay. And we use them also in our clinics. We give them copies. Our patients get copies. Quite wonderful books. I want to ask you about depression. I know that you've had some difficult times following the stroke. Can you tell me a little bit about it?
You know, I think much worse than the pain is depression. Depression was awful. Of course, my wife helped a lot because she believed in strong love. And for example, if I were lying in bed, I feeling so sorry for myself, she would say, "Kirk, get your ass out of bed and start working with your speech therapist." So that helped. You know, one day I said to her, "Honey, tomorrow I would like breakfast in bed." Breakfast in bed? Sleep in the kitchen. Finally, she was so exasperated with my complaining. She said, "I'm going to leave you." And I said, "If you leave me, I'm going with you." But she really helped me, trying to be a little tougher with me. Because depression is an awful thing. And it's a thing that you have to fight against. Now, one way I dealt with depression, I was lying in bed, feeling sorry for myself. I heard a whining, not from me. It was from my dog, Danny. His real name is Danielovich. He's a Jewish dog, but he doesn't know it. So don't tell him. He wanted to go out, so I went out of the bed, opened the door, and he wagged his tail, and I left, and he was happy. I felt happy. All I did was open the door. But doing something for someone else relieves your depression. So I think that's something that everybody must think about. When you're depressed, try to think of someone else. Try to help someone else. It will alleviate your depression.
And I know you've talked about when you were really at your lowest. There was a gun in your desk.
Well, I was in bed and I allowed the person to overtake me, and I thought, wow, look at me. I will never be able to make another movie. That killed me. And when I got out of bed, I went to the mirror, look horrible. Saw drooping and saliva coming down my corner. I said, this is no life. I walked to my desk. In the drawer was a gun I used with John Wayne in woodworking. I took the gun, I slit 2 bullets in the chamber, and I closed my eyes and I stuck it in my mouth. Ow. It hit my teeth. A toothache prevented me from killing myself. So I wrote in this book, my stroke of luck, I wrote, suicide is a dumb, foolish thing because you're thinking too much of yourself. Think about others. Think about the people you leave behind. And that will make you pause a little bit. those are my words of wisdom.
And I might add that there are many words of wisdom in his book. And let me just take a moment to say that I, as Kirk knows, a friend of mine, my dear friend, committed suicide shortly before I met him. And I read My Stroke of Luck, and I read Let's Face It, and I found the depression that I was feeling lifted by the courage that this man was sharing through his books. So, thank you.
Thank you.
You've often spoken to me about your parents, and you've told me that they were the heroes of your story. Tell me about them.
Well, you know, my parents, Russian immigrants, came to America to hope to find a better life for their children. So I think to me, they are the real heroes of my life because they have given me a chance to work my way through college, through graduate school, and go into the field that I love. But the problem is now, what do we do with our children, with our grandchildren? The world is in a mess. It's falling apart. I wrote in my book, Let's Face It, I dedicated it to the younger children, young people, because they're the ones that need help. We had a chance, so now we have to make sure that they have a chance. In the state of the world now, we have to do something to help the young people have the chance that we had.
You and I are both from the East Coast. I'm from Fort Monmouth, New Jersey. You're from Amsterdam, New York?
New York.
New York, right. And you grew up certainly not with a lot. Your parents really struggled. What was your dad doing? What was his work?
My father was a rag man. And when I wrote my first book, the publisher didn't like the title. He said, "The Ragman's Son?" Kirk, why do you want to call it that? I said, because that's what I am, the ragman's son. And I wanted to show that wherever you come from, poverty, people not accepting you, in America, with all its faults, you have a chance. You have a chance to come up. See, my father, a ragman going around, rag, metal paper. We didn't have much to eat, but we had a chance. And I will never forget that. That's why I think that the real heroes are my immigrant parents who never went to school, but they came here to give me a chance.
Most of my students know very well that I have horses. And because I have horses, when I heard about your wonderful horse, Bill, when you were a child, I was very intrigued and moved by the story. Can you tell us about Bill?
Well, when I was a kid, my father had a horse and wagon, and the horse was Bill, a white horse. He was really gray, but I always thought of him as white. And I love that horse. When I was cleaning up the table, I've always found a piece of sugar to give to him. And I felt he was my best friend. But the night came when some people who were angry at my father, the Kirk Hill gang, came in the night and set fire to the barn. I woke up, the fire engulfed the barn, the hay burned like paper, and the husband ran away laughing. I woke up, I must say, Bill, my father grabbed me back. It was too late. My heart broke to see my best friend, Bill, his stiff body lying in the stall. And years later, at my home in Montecito, I had a statue made, a life-size statue of a horse lying down peacefully, and I called it my horse Bill. And it makes me feel good to look at it. But at that time, Bill was the only friend I had. I won't tell too many sad stories.
Okay, I'm glad. You know how sensitive I am, so don't do that. You taught your mother how to write her name, and then later you named your company after her.
Yes.
Tell me about her.
You know, my mother was a remarkable person. Her name was Bryna, B-R-Y-N-A. I better said her name, my company, Bryna Productions, after my mother. For example, I remember one night my 6 sisters were asleep. I was in the kitchen alone with my mother. My father was at the saloon, and my mother was urging me to go to bed. And suddenly one knock on the door. My mother went to the door, and there was a hobo, all duty, asking for food. Now, we were not very rich. My mother found some food to give him. See, we lived near the railroad tracks, so often hobos came, and my mother always found something to give them. And she said to me, a beggar must give to another beggar who's worse off than him. And so she taught me things that stay with me. So I called my company Bryna after my mother. But I didn't call it that because she fed hobos. I called it because my father never called my mother by her name, Bryna. He said, hey, or tell my missus. Never called her by her name. Can you imagine that? That's why I called my company Bryna Production. And once I brought my wife, my mother to New York in a limousine, and we stopped in Times Square, and I said, see, Ma, look at the billboard, a whole block. Bryna presents the Vikings. And my mother looked at me and she said, America is such a wonderful land. So I was glad that I used her name.
I love that. America is such a wonderful land.
Yes.
I mean, coming from where she came from and the life that she had
Exactly.
lived. What an incredible thing for her to see. Absolutely wonderful. You remember your first real conversation with your mother in the kitchen. Can you tell us what that was?
You know, I think of it often because face-to-face conversations are disappearing because everybody has a cell phone. Oh, can you hear me? Can you hear me? And I think the personal contact with people talking will disappear. But I remember 85 years ago, my first conversation. I was in the kitchen, my sister was at school, it was snowing, my mother was at the stove stirring some potato soup, and I was out the window looking at the snow coming down, sucking my thumb. And I said, Ma, where does the snow come from? Well, she said, Issa, that was my real name, Issa. She said, Issa, it's the angel sweeping off the porch of heaven. Well, I said, look at the white snow. Heaven must be very clean. And I said, look at it, said, so. Ma, how was I born? I guess he didn't hear me. Ma, tell me, how was I born? My mother wiped her hand on the apron. He came over and put her arm around me. It was more just like this, cold, snowing. I thought I heard a noise outside the window, so rubbed the frost out of the window. Was I surprised? What did you see? A gold box. What? Yes. A little bit above the ground, and 4 silver strings at each end going up to the sky. Wow, what did you do? Well, she said, I grabbed a saw and ran out. There it was, a gold box. Well, open it. Didn't you open it? Yes. What was in it? You. Me? Yes. What did you do? You were naked, red, wrapped you in a shawl and took you into the house. What about the gold box? Oh, sir. Son, she said, I was so happy to find you. Later, when I looked out, the gold box was gone. You lost the gold box? That was my first conversation.
That was wonderful. Loved it. That was a beautiful job of acting, I might add.
Really?
And
you think I should be an actor?
Kirk, don't give up your day job. How did you decide to become an actor?
Well, of course, I did acting in college, and one vacation I worked with a carnival. At college, I was on the wrestling team, undefeated. And my buddy, another wrestler, and I worked with a carnival, and we'll put on quite a show. And I think that's what I got my first taste of acting, because the rest of it are actors. So, but my first attempt of acting was in kindergarten. I played a shoemaker, and my mother made me a little black apron. I'm a jackhammer, a shoemaker. I work hard all day. I was cute. People applauded. And I liked that sound. And I think that's when I determined I'm going to be an actor.
But you weren't always Kirk Douglas, as you said. Your name was Isher.
Well, my first real acting job was at Tamarack Playhouse in the Adirondack. And I worked with Mladen Sekulovic, who changed his name to Carl Morgan. I introduced myself. Is it Danielovich? Huh? He said, that name has got to go. And that's how Kirk Douglas was born.
In the 1950s, with the blacklist, there were some pretty tough times, and you write about it in your book, Let's Face It. Of course, I forgot to bring my glasses out here, but we'll do our best here. In 1947, the House Un-American Activities Committee started to interrogate people who'd been accused of holding left-wing views, most of them writers. A few people buckled under the pressure of the committee, but most refused to answer the committee's demands to disclose the names of others. What did you do about this? What did you do about the blacklist?
You know, the McCarthy era was a sad time in our life. We were looting our freedom. Senator McCarthy was finding communists everywhere, ready to tear down the government. And he picked especially on Hollywood, and especially the writers. If they didn't name other communists or sympathizers, they were put in jail and blacklisted. One writer, Dr. Trumbull, refused to name other people. He was put in jail for a year. Now, Dr. Trumbull, I hired him to write the script of Spartacus. But under the name of Sam Jackson, such hypocrisy, I felt ashamed of myself. But during the shooting, I said, what name are we going to use on the screen? Sam Jackson? I felt so bad about it. I thought about it and I said, I'm going to use the name of Dr. Trumbull. And Spartacus was the first picture that ever had the real name of a blacklist writer, Dr. Trumbull, and the blacklist was broken.
And boy, we congratulate you for that. And my understanding is that people advised you not to do that.
Oh, they said, Kirk, you won't be able to work in this town. And Heather Hopper took out from me and Walter Winter, that's way before your time.
Columnists.
But in retrospect, I'm proud that I did it.
And we're proud that you did too. Remarkable. How did you meet your wonderful wife of 54 years?
I went to Paris to do a movie, L'acte d'amour, Act of Love. And I love Paris, and I learned to sing the French song, Tu ne peux pas figurer comme je t'aime. C'est si bon de te câliner. You know, I had a lot of success with that song. Not by my voice, but American sing a French song. But then I met a woman, wow, beautiful, intelligent, she spoke 5 languages. I was so intrigued with her, I persuaded her to become my assistant. And every day I thought, he was so attractive. I thought I would try my song. Je ne pas. She corrected my French. But I fell in love with her. But it was a long time to get her love for me. And it happened at the Cirque d'Hiver, that's a charity event where all the French actors play roles in the circus acts. So when I took Anne to see the Cirque d'Hiver, and we approached the grandma, Kirk Douglas, l'acteur américain. On a besoin de vous venir vite, and they took me back to find out what part I could play. Now, Anne, meanwhile, sat in her seat and she watched an act of a herd of elephants. And when the elephant lifts the arena, I came in with my tuxedo and I was carrying a pooper, scooper, and shovel. And the crowd roared while I cleaned up what elephants left behind. Well, when we got home that night, Anne was still laughing. But when I kissed her, I knew that she was mine.
And you married her twice. What happened the first time?
Well, I finally convinced her to come to Hollywood, and then she was ready to leave, and I was in a panic. I thought, if she leaves, I might never see her again. So I proposed, and we went to Las Vegas to get married. In the suite, just as a piece, the phone ringing, say Sinatra is holding his show for us. So when just as a piece married us, I thought my wife spoke perfect English, and he said, repeat after me, I am taking Kirk as my lawful wedded husband. She said very clearly, I am taking Kirk as my awful wedded husband. Of course, she thought I was full of awe. But after that, I said, honey, someday I will give you a wedding of your dreams. It took me 50 years. At my 50th wedding anniversary, I married her again. And it was a beautiful wedding, and I wrote a song and I sang it to her, and I think she was very happy.
And the song is in this wonderful book. of Let's Face It.
Are you going to sing it?
I'm not going to do that, no. No, are you?
No.
Does 50 years together seem so long to you? The older the violin, the sweeter the music. It is often said, and it's true. To me, it seems like yesterday we met in gay Paris. Now Paris is sad, but I am glad you chose to marry me. When you call me angel, I begin to sprout wings. Just
when you whisper, darling, can you hear how my heart sings? I melt when you're near me like snow on a sunny day. Dissolve when it hurts me like teardrops kissed away. And if you ever leave me, I will follow you and cry. Please, don't, please. I want to finish the song. Please stay with me until the day I die. You know, would you say I'm a bit of a ham? I think so.
Yes.
Yes?
And we just had a little bit of that for lunch, as a matter of fact. You and Ann have a long history of wonderful philanthropic work, amazing philanthropic work. And there are some students here with us today that are volunteers at the Ann Douglas Center and at the LA Mission. We have a clip to play of the Ann Douglas Center.
Really?
We'll take a minute and show that.
This is a big production.
This is a big production, yes. Can we play that, please? Okay, I just heard, give us a minute, Betty. Can you tell us a little bit about the playgrounds?
Well, you know, as you get older, you learn. You have to help other people. When I was younger, I was thinking so much of myself and the part I play. But as you get older, you think of other people. And my wife, when she became a citizen, she was so proud. She said, I want to do something for this country. And she read in the paper that the playground all over Los Angeles was decrepit, dangerous, with hard surface. And she said, I'm going to do something about that, because I thought she was crazy. But suddenly she started, my money was dwindling, but when she got about 100 playgrounds, her goal was 400. We went to Washington and she received the Jefferson Gold Medal for services of a private citizen. So I said, honey, I'm so proud of you. What can I do to help? And she said, get a job, we need the money. So, listen, you know, there's a lot of unemployment. It's tough to get a job. But we muddled through, and and by the way, we went to every dedication of the playground. That means 400 times someone was waking me up and said, Kirk, it's time to go to school. But we're proud of that. And it's all because my wife initiated it and carried it through.
Let's go ahead and play that.
Here in the heart of downtown Los Angeles is a place some call Skid Row. Some call it Hope Central. But sadly, some people call it home. Statistics show that the number of homeless women is increasing each year at an alarming rate. Every woman has a different story to tell. Some common themes are abuse, addictions, or simply last chances that have run out. At some point in time, these women get tired of their addictions, tired of their lives in a downward spiral, tired of themselves. But along with the heartbreaking stories and distressing facts, there exists a place of hope and renewal. Hi, I'm Marilyn McCoo, and for nearly 2 decades, the Ann Douglas Center at the Los Angeles Mission has been helping women regain their dignity, break the chains of their addictions, and discover God's useful purpose for their lives. Here, women from all walks of life come together to rediscover what they've lost, their self-esteem, their walk with God, and relationships with their families. The Ann Douglas Center is a very unique and special place where changed lives are just part of the daily miracle.
I never forget that I was once very poor, didn't have enough to eat, and that's why I love to work with my wife on projects like the center playgrounds for selfish reasons, because it makes me feel good, help other people.
Sidney Sheldon always sort of joked with Kirk by saying, one day you'll find somebody that was poorer than you are or were. And Kirk said, show me. So Sidney called him up and said, I will show you. Come with me to the Los Angeles Mission on South Los Angeles Street. And Kirk took me along and we went. I, at the time, asked Reverend Holtzinger, who was in charge of the mission, do you have any women here? And he said, yeah, I think we have 2. I said, where do they live? And I saw all the bunk beds of all the men. And all of a sudden, I saw a white sheet and 2 bunk beds. He said, this is for the women. A white sheet is separating the women from the men. What happens otherwise? He said, we don't have the room. We are now trying to raise funds to build a new building.
I said, honey, what can I do to help? And she said, get a job, we need the money. After all, I had done 90 pictures, now I'm looking for a job.
They talked to my husband about it, and he talked to other friends. And the Los Angeles Mission was built, and they also had, thanks to my husband and a lot of other friends and a lot of good people, a facility for women that was right adjacent to the new mission on Winston Street, downtown in Los Angeles. You see, there are bigger women's mission in Los Angeles now, or bigger facilities, but not as nice as ours.
I think the Ann Douglas Center is different in a couple ways. One is that there is a huge focus on the dignity of every individual. It's a philosophy that runs us. So if you have that at the heart, at the core, you don't rush people through like they're cattle. You don't talk down to them because you can.
Why talk like that?
Absolutely not.
That's terrible.
The extent of the generosity of the Douglases is absolutely magnificent, and I congratulate you and your wife on your endeavors for the city of Los Angeles.
Listen, another thing when you get older, what do you do with your money? Help other people. I mean, we are in a serious crisis now, where it gets me so mad when I hear a company goes bust and that the chief of the company gets about $40 million. That's crazy. Okay, that's another story.
That's another story, and some of that also is in Let's Face It. So we'd like to open it up now to some questions and answers. Hopefully we have the answers, right? Yeah, we'll see. Does anyone have any questions they would like to ask?
For both of you, how did you meet and how long have, oh, I'm sorry. Hi. It's on? How did you meet and how long have you been working together?
I can't hear.
Okay. And she asked, how did we meet and how long have we been working together?
Well, you know, I had my stroke 10 years ago. More.
12.
12. See, but I've had several speech therapists. And then I know what someone.
I met you Christmas 2006 at Shaker's.
And when she had the first session with me, I found her so helpful to me that I hung on to her since that time. She was very helpful to me. And what I admire that Ann Douglas Center, she went there to visit, and now she goes there at least twice a week to help people who have speech problems.
Well, not only did you hang on to me, I've hung on to you.
All right.
I think we've learned a great deal from each other. Other questions? We have one coming up here from Jesse.
Mr. Douglas, what advice do you have for future speech-language pathologists who are coming into the field?
Advice for speech-language pathologists? Advice for speech pathologists?
Of course, I was lucky. I think a speech pathologist has to induce the student with confidence to continue. You know, the worst thing about having a stroke, see, I'm used, like my thought is here, and my speech, and sometimes when I'm in a restaurant without to know, and at my table, I think I have something funny to say, and then I think, oh, hell with it. It's too much effort. Because to speak, I have to use effort. And I tell you, I admire speech pathologists. Betty has done so much to get me to have the right mental attitude. Because lots of people who have a stroke, they just drift off somewhere in a corner. So you do understand when I speak, no? Yes. Well, I thought it is necessary. I don't want you to miss out on those wonderful words of wisdom.
Margaret has a question.
Mr. Douglas, what did you learn about yourself that most surprised you through this stroke?
Wow, what did you learn about yourself that most surprised you through this stroke?
That how much I took things for granted. I mean, a simple thing. You know, your body, I can do that, I can do it. I mean, that's amazing. A body is so amazing that I can learn to speak. You know, speaking is a convoluted process, but you just think of something and then say it. You don't involve yourself with the muscle, with the teeth, with the tongue. You just say it. We take it for granted. And I think that's a fault that lots of have. We don't appreciate what we have. And I think my stroke has made me more religious almost. That, you know, you can appreciate a flower because that one is wilted.
Look at the ones that aren't. Remember, the glass is half full.
Yes. You know, I really, I feel proud that my book has helped a lot of people. But I would say the first thing, don't give up. It's very easy to, I want breakfast in bed. You know, you can't give up. And my background has almost always made me a worker. I don't give up. That's why when I was a wrestler, I was undefeated. Because I didn't give up.
And as far as I'm concerned, he's still undefeated in what he does. It's remarkable. He rewrites our textbooks and does things that are astounding. Right? True.
Listen, I think you all have better things to do. And I think...
Well, you have to wait for just a moment.
Oh.
Can't exit the stage yet. Okay, Jesse, where are you? Our student has something for you.
Something for me?
Something for you. This is an unusual something. I don't think you've ever had anything like this before. I might add, this is Jesse Coyle, and Jesse is a volunteer down at the LA Mission and will be there at Thanksgiving.
Oh, that's good. I will see you then.
Absolutely. It's a pleasure to meet you, sir.
Thank you.
And Jesse is about to make you something.
Hi, classmates. I had the pleasure of visiting the LA Mission with Dr. McMicken this summer and participate in the back-to-school fair that was put on for the kids of Skid Row. And part of that was the language screenings done by Dr. McMicken and the number of the students. In order to draw the kids to the language screening, I offered to make balloon animals for them.
He did.
We considered a lot of things as thanks for coming to speak here today. And although flowers didn't seem appropriate,
Particularly if he thinks they're wilted.
Dr. McMicken suggested that instead I would make you something out of balloons. So here goes. There is a famous movie that Mr. Douglas is very well known for, where he played a hero to a lot of people. And so, the movie was called Spartacus.
I remember.
And there is a famous poster of Mr. Douglas on horseback, decked out with armor, with a sword raised over his head. So, Mr. Douglas,
I'm Philanthropic. Thank you. Can we do it now? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.